Imagine spending hundreds of millions to bring back the most prestigious car brand in the world, building a futuristic factory in the heart of Italy, hiring the brightest engineers and designers, and creating a machine so advanced, so powerful, it left Ferrari, Lamborghini, and Porsche scrambling to keep up. Now imagine it all collapsing in less than 5 years. This is the story of the Bugatti EB110, the car that bankrupted Bugatti, and yet somehow saved its name for the future.
Chapter 1. The Dream Revival. Our story begins in the late 1980s. Bugatti, once the crown jewel of French motoring, had been dead since 1952. But one man wanted to bring it back. Romano Artioli, a wealthy Italian entrepreneur, believed Bugatti should once again sit at the very top of the automotive world. Not just as a car, but as a statement of engineering supremacy. He founded Bugatti Automobili SPA in Modena, Italy, right in the backyard of Ferrari, Maserati, and Lamborghini. And he built one of the most futuristic car factories the world had ever seen. The Campo Galliano facility was no ordinary workshop. It had marble floors, glass walls, and the feel of a cathedral for speed. This wasn't just car production. This was a palace for the rebirth of Bugatti.
By the way, if you enjoy stories like this, cars that defined and sometimes destroyed their makers, then hit that like button and subscribe. It really helps keep these legends alive on the channel.
Chapter 2. The Engineering Marvel. The car itself had to be worthy of the name, and Artioli's engineers went all out. The EB110 was packed with technology no one had dared to put together before. A 3.5-litre V12 with not one, not two, but 4 turbochargers. A carbon fibre chassis built by Aerospatiale, the French aerospace company. All-wheel drive, rare for the time. Active aerodynamics. On paper, it was unbeatable. The EB110 GT made 550 horsepower. The Supersport, over 600. 0 to 60 in just 3.4 seconds. Top speed, 218 miles per hour. Unveiled in 1991 on Ettore Bugatti's 110th birthday. For a moment, it seemed, the legend had returned. Chapter 3. The Collapse. But the dream came at the worst possible time. The early 1990s recession, combined with the Gulf War, devastated the luxury car market. Even the ultra-rich were cutting back. The EB110 cost nearly £300,000, more than $350,000, and that was before options. Sales were slow, costs astronomical, and the Campo Galliano Palace, as beautiful as it was, drained millions just to keep the lights on. In 1995, Bugatti Automobili SPA was forced into bankruptcy. A mix of costly decisions and mounting financial strain sealed the company's fate. Chairman Romano Artioli had stretched resources thin with his £30 million, $50 million, acquisition of Lotus Cars. At the same time, huge sums were poured into the ambitious EB112 four-door saloon project. To make matters worse, Bugatti had been falling behind on supplier payments since 1993, leaving the company unable to recover when hard times hit. The factory shut down. Artioli's dream had collapsed, leaving behind empty showrooms, unpaid workers, and one of the most advanced supercars the world had ever seen. Chapter 4. The Legacy. In total, only around 139 EB110s were ever built, but those cars gained a following. Formula One legend Michael Schumacher bought a bright yellow EB110 Supersport and drove it proudly on public roads. Collectors began to notice just how ahead of its time the car really was. Values, once a fraction of the original price, have soared to millions today. The abandoned Campogalliano factory still stands, a haunting monument to a dream too ambitious for its era. But Bugatti itself was not dead. In 1998, Volkswagen acquired the name, and when the Veyron arrived years later, with its quad-turbo W16, all-wheel drive, and carbon construction, it was clear. The DNA of the EB110 lived on. What once bankrupted Bugatti had also laid the foundation for its rebirth.
The Bugatti EB110 was too ambitious, too expensive, and maybe too early for the world. But in hindsight, it was not a failure. It was the bridge between Bugatti's glorious past and its hypercar future. A reminder that even in bankruptcy, legends can be born. So what do you think? Was the EB110 a disaster or simply 20 years ahead of its time? Let me know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, subscribe and share, because there are plenty more tales of brilliance, ambition and bankruptcy still to come.